The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is part of the Blue Ridge Mountain System and has the Appalachian Trail wandering through its many peaks and valleys. Chartered by Congress in 1934, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is the most visited national park in the United States, with about 12 million visitors per year. Within the 816 square mile park, the less physically able adventurer can still experience the wonders of the Great Smoky Mountains by way of the Roaring Fork Auto Tour. This narrow, twisting, one-lane road can be found by turning at light number 8 in the center of Gatlinburg, next to Ripley's Believe It or Not. Follow the road signs until you find the Great Smoky Mountain National Park entrance sign. Don't forget to stop and take a selfie. Following the sign in about 2.7 miles, just past the popular Rainbow Falls hiking trail, you will discover the entrance to the Roaring Fork Auto Tour. Jim Wesley Bales moved to the Great Smoky Mountains in 1860 and lived there with his wife Emma Ogle until the 1930s, when the Great Smoky Mountain Park was established and homesteaders were encouraged to relocate. Jim's homestead produced crops such as corn and potatoes, and while touring Jim's homestead, you should be aware that the cabin was not Jim's, but actually Alex Cole's cabin, and was relocated to Jim's homestead for preservation. The farm animal barn and corn crib did belong to Jim. Jim Bale's barn had 4 stalls, and due to its low ceilings and narrow doors, probably only housed donkeys or mules. Feed for the animals were stored in the 2 lofts located overhead. Driving on the auto tour, you will notice the many different types of trees and shrubs you pass by. The Great Smoky Mountain National Forest contains over 100 species of native trees, over 100 species of native shrubs, and over 1,600 species of flowering plants. Although heavily forested in the late 19th and early 20th century, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park comprises the largest stand of old-growth trees in the eastern United States. Ephraim Bales, who was the older brother to Jim Bales, lived on a 70-acre homestead to which, due to the large rocks, had only 30 plantable acres. Ephraim, along with his wife Manera and 9 children, lived in his dog trot cabin, which is actually 2 separate cabins connected by a roofed walkway. Ephraim and his family lived on his homestead from the 1890s until the government purchased his land for inclusion into the national park in the 1930s. Elevations in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park range from 875 feet to the very top of Klingman's Dome, which stands at 6,643 feet. There are 16 mountains within the park that reaches higher elevations than 5,000 feet tall, and I'm pretty sure that the Appalachian Trail traverses many of them. The park is 95% forested, with more than 200 species of birds, 50 species of fish, 39 species of reptiles, and 43 species of amphibians. The park also hosts approximately 1,500 black bears. Waterfalls, which you previously saw, are abundant in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, with its most popular being Rainbow Falls, which is reachable by a moderate 5.4-mile round-trip hike. Rainbow Falls is known for being the highest single-drop waterfall in the Smokies. Alfred Reagan was a prosperous farmer who owned cattle, crops, fruit trees, and timber. As you can see from the condition of Alfred Reagan's homestead, he was also a rather successful businessman. As a jack of all trades, Alfred owned carpentry tools and blacksmith tools. With his homestead located right on the road, he often repaired carriages that broke down in front of him. In the early 1900s, Alfred thought Roaring Forks was large enough to need a general store, and also a river-powered mill in which he ground his neighbor's grain for a small fee. Alfred regularly traveled to Knoxville for his store stock, at which times he was gone for several days at a time, and his son took over the store. The Great Smoky Mountains is a natural migration route for the monarch butterflies and their annual transit to Mexico. The Great Smoky Mountains is home to 73 species of butterflies and 27 species of moths. Sadly, our adventure together on the Roaring Fork Auto Tour ends here. Be aware that since we only visited 5 of the posted 16 stops, you can still find your own adventures on the Auto Tour, and you can discover something new. This is Hughes for Outdoorstaycations. If you liked the video, please let me know by hitting the thumbs up like button. For future adventures together, please subscribe.